Cancer, welcome to your Celtic cross reading. What's up? What's going on? Show me Cancer, please. Show me Cancer. Like always with the Celtic cross, take it resonates, leave it does not. And if there's more than one energy clearly apparent to you on this board today, then reverse those energies as you see fit. But do keep in mind this is about your collective energy. I will see this, that, and the day and the other. I always do. The point is, how are we reacting with it? What is our thought towards it or feeling? That kind of thing. Again, it's really about your collective energy. What's going on? Show me Cancer. Show me Cancer, please. Show me Cancer. What's going on? I'll be kicking off my Cancer season with a much-needed trip to the beach. Yay! That will not disrupt messages, though. Okay? What's going on? What's going on? Show me Cancer, please. It's just a couple weeks. Oh, my God. So needed, darling. So needed. So overdue. Yeah. Let me know if you have any sort of plans, really. Something that you're looking forward to. What's going on, please? Show me Cancer. Show me Cancer. What's going on? Show me Cancer, please. I should hope so. Your birthday season. It's coming up. It's coming up. What's going on, please? Show me Cancer. What's going on? Two of Cups. Oh, Ace of Pentacles. Oh. Ooh. Okay. Well. Well, that's no good. Let's see. Oh. I see. Can you see? That's the question. There we go. Exit the Tower. Yeah. Oh, good. Okay. Okay. Now, keeping an eye on that, like the weather. It's like, is that going to get stormy, or is the storm going to go away now? Because we're somewhere in there. Okay. Strength, Queen of Wands, and the environment, Hanged Man. Oh yes. Okay. Hopes and fears, Five of Cups, outcome, death. Something is ending. I didn't think it was. I was like, okay, did we resolve our differences? I think something's ending so we can generate some new activity. Okay. We have a couple different things going on in here. A little bit of back and forth. Is this salvageable? Would we benefit under renewal, Ace? You and I? Two of Cups? In other words, do we want to keep this going? Or are we better off with new beginnings? And there is a we in here. But again, I'm going to focus on you. I'm not doing a them or a they. I'll see them and they, like I said. But I'm really going to focus on you and how you're experiencing this and how you're interpreting what you're interpreting, okay? Because not all is lost. And that's the whole idea about keeping this together. You and I may not be lost, or perhaps we can find ourselves elsewhere. And if you have that point of view, then it's actually healthy. It suggests that new beginnings are still believed in, and if neither one of us wants a new beginning again with each other, it's really time to give that more thought and focus and consideration. So let's jump right in there to that Two of Cups. There is some sense of emotional union that you're supposed to ideally be sharing with somebody. This is how I feel about you. This is how you feel about me. This is just between us, right? So let's say that Two of Cups. The Ace of Pentacles is on the sideway. It's in question. At first, I'm like, are you considering a new love union? Or are you thinking about continuing to reinvest in a pre-existing one? It literally could have been either way. Then I see the fighting. Then I see the pre-existing relationship. And then I see a powerful revelation is trying to exit. So I'm like, okay. The bulk of what happened here is already past. It's what happens after that point, I think, is what we're looking at. Let's see that Two of Cups, please. Like always, take it resonates, leave it does not. Guys, I do the real stuff. I'm not going to lie to you. If something is going downhill and it has an inevitable ending, I want you to know. If something is salvageable, I want you to know. And that's it. I don't value having my time wasted or yours, okay? So, if you already know this isn't you, don't worry about it. Check your other placements. No problem, yeah? If you feel this could be you, maybe stick around, but also manage expectations, okay? It still may not be for you at the end of the day. I don't dictate your life. You do. Your energy could change tomorrow, and then everything I see here is different. All right? Let's see that Two of Cups. Show me that Two of Cups. Show me that Two of Cups. Two of Cups. Fact of the matter is, I can't really tell you anything that you don't already inherently know unless it literally, literally falls under the category of predictive. Okay? All right. Two of Cups. Show me that Two of Cups. Five of Pentacles, Eight of Wands, the Star. The communication between yourself and someone else, in other words, being on the same team, the same goal, is broken. We know this. The both of you know this. But I'm interpreting you. You seem to be feeling this pretty thoroughly. The communication between us isn't great. And you and I are showing a disjointedness in terms of where are we with goals and desires, and specifically that long-term vision I always talk about with the Star. Again, you have to reach for the Star. That means it's far away from you. That means you have to keep your eyes on it. That way you know how to navigate if you choose to reach for it. So what we're saying here in practical terms, Two of Cups, this is between you and me. Five of Pentacles, Eight of Wands, the Star. There's clear communication, at least from your side, that you and I seem to be separated in terms of vision or goals. In other words, our particular... I don't know why. I was fine with Scorpio. I was fine with Pisces. I tune into you, and suddenly my speech impediment's kicking in hard today. So this is hard to talk about? Okay. Well, I grant you. But that is realistic communication. So we have had an honest conversation with our person about you and I don't seem to share the same vision. Is that salvageable? Is our vision sustainable? What is our vision, by the way? Because we'd have an R in here, our vision. But we seem to be a little off script, you and I, about what that means. And also, again, is it sustainable? Because to go like this, you have to have some measure of sustainability. Otherwise, you lose motivation. Okay. So we're talking about that. We are talking, and it is active. So good for you both that we're having that discussion. I'm glad to see that. A lot of people are like, I'm miserable, and I'm not talking about it with my person. I'm not sharing it. I just expect them to know. And then you wonder why you get the results you get. If we want anything to shift or change, we have to talk. And then after talk, we take action. You know? And that's where the real proof is. That's where the real proof is. So I'm glad you two are talking. It needs to happen. Congratulations. Big step one. Let's see if we're trying to meet each other in a workable space. Okay? Ace of Pentacles, do we keep this going or not? Do we renew this or not? Do we want to make this investment again? Or are you and I better served with new opportunities elsewhere? Let's see that Ace of Pentacles. Let's see that Ace of Pentacles. I am seeing here what looks like a mutual respect, trying to meet someone at least halfway emotionally, which is good. This is a conversation based in respect of one's feelings, but with a realistic output about what's tangible between you and I. Okay? I don't know if this has to do directly with career coin. It could do. Money tends to be a big motivator for successful relationships, to be honest. Six of Wands, lack of confidence. Three of Swords, rejection, the Emperor. Because someone here is losing faith. As the Emperor, it's kind of a big deal if he cannot stand by or feel empowered by his decision of investment. And that's where someone is showing expression in terms of doubts. Someone's, and I believe it's you, has taken a hit in their confidence about renewing this. I say there's a lot of shadows of doubt that surround your heart, and it's making it hard for you to picture standing up for this another month, season, or year, something like that. And the Emperor, particularly that masculine energy, I'm not saying you are male, I'm saying the masculine energy here, when they stand up for something, their confidence, Six of Wands, needs to be in place. You're saying your confidence around this particular investment relationship is in question. You say more often than not your heart space feels rejected in some way. Therefore, your confidence in standing up for this again isn't so good. Once more, I'm not seeing any decisions from you. It's under contemplation, and now I've zoomed out of the two person, the we, and I went back into your energy and why this discussion's happening at all. There's something here about the pathway, the sustainability of it. Are we still reaching for the same goal where you no longer feel confident and thus has affected your ability to invest in this? Did you just hit your 1 year anniversary? Not your one, that's not what I meant. I'm sorry, your renewal anniversary with this? You just had an anniversary marker? A birthday, something that recognizes this is a time of significance for me? Because it feels so very fresh. Very fresh conversation. Very fresh point of view about sustainability, and are we on the same page? Because you're saying, even though we just did the thing, because it seems to be under recent discussion, you've never felt less confident about it. Okay. You're wondering if you should have renewed it or let another year pass. That's for some of you, not all of you. That was very fast, and that was a very specific stamp. I have no idea. Like I said, I pulled it out of the we and went back into you, and as far as I can tell, this is what you're experiencing. And then I had a time reference to zip by my eyes. Oh, you just had your renewal. You just had your renewal. So for some of you, congratulations are in order, but I'm sorry you're in a position of questioning it. But again, nothing has yet been done. Let's see this argument that surrounds you. 5 of Wands. Oh, it's like that went by fast. Some of you said that. Okay. Let's see that 5 of Wands, please. Now hovering influence. Let's see that 5 of Wands. Why do I have this impression of speed? It's not mine at all. God, that year came and went. The year came and went. Did some of you have a marker for last year that was supposed to be significant by now, or having proved it, the year went by fast? Why do I have that? Such a strong impression. Oh, that is so odd. Okay, 8 of Cups, 2 of Pentacles. This is the real issue. This is the surrounding issue, and this is why you have less confidence, at least this year, about having put in a renewal. It just happened, but it's never been more under question. Okay, I got you. I got you. No judgments here, guys. I just want to understand. Yeah, it's a pitiful argument, and it's external. Someone's clearly absent here with the 8 of Cups, emotionally checked out. 2 of Pentacles, back and forth. Do I want to keep doing this? You really want the pretense to stop. I can see where you put on brave face and you're like another year or whatever. But that kind of is wearing thin on you. It's not giving you the results that you said that you would need to see by this past year or so. That didn't happen. I'm sorry. So the frustration remains, the nothingness, no improvement has remained. And your willingness to put up with it has gone down. Because here's the thing, putting up with it does not mean things are healing, shaping, or taking a new definition or transforming for the better. It just means we're putting up with it. Which is why, side note, this has nothing to do with your reading, but it's one of the reasons why it pisses me off when I read the comments. If people could just listen to their language, it would tell them a lot. I'm dealing with. I've been putting up with. Baby, you've already told me everything I need to know in a couple of words. Do you want to be committed to someone that you quote-unquote put up with? And hey, guess what? It works both ways. They quote-unquote put up with you. Is that how you want your significant other to talk about you? Is that how you want to talk about your significant other? You're dealing with, putting up with. I have to blah, blah, this, that, and the other with them. Yeah, you two sound really rocking. Well, I got a lot of complaints and no insights about how we are working through it. Side note, you know? And I had that distinct impression here. It's another year and I'm still dealing these low-level donuts. They're not very satisfying. They don't give me any more nutrition or value, significance. In fact, I find myself less and less attached to those every year. And it's like you're getting that in return too. No improvement in sight. 8 of Cups, 2 of Pentacles, and the King of Swords. Just this kind of like, I want to do something about it, but it never stops. It affects you both. This emotional detachment, but the argument's ongoing. In other words, it never resolves. It's quicksand. It doesn't seem to get better. I'm not telling you that. You're telling me that. This is hovering. That means it's around with you all day. And it's real. It's happening in the 3D. It's like a party you keep getting an invitation to and you wish you could decline. So stop accepting it. If your relationship has amounted to nothing more than I have to deal with or put up with, you already have the answer. You don't need another year of your life to go by. There, I said it. Here's how I know that. I'm glad the communication's happening. I am. That needed to happen. But where's the follow-up? I'm glad you two have come to terms about the reality. And yet, the same non-changing energy still surrounds you both. So if people really want to make change and to transform, they do it, they show it, they showcase it. They prove it to the other person constantly. That's how you know it's a healthy connection, because it inspires you to change, to raise, to evolve, not stay stagnant or to shut it down. That's how I know the difference between a successful and unsuccessful connection. I see the willingness to heal, change, and harmonize. You know? All right. Sorry about that. That's been your Cancer PSA. I think Scorpio had one. Now you have one. Let's see that 4 of Wands, please. Once more, I'm not convinced that Cancer is your primary placement. I've been saying that, I feel like, for a lot of folks lately. But, you know, I agree. You really should check your other major placements. Gosh, back when I used to watch readings, I don't anymore, don't need to. I don't know. You get used to your own particular method or brand, and I don't even read for me anymore. I mean, what's the point? Unless it has to do with career goals or whatever, I just don't see the point. Because I live life. I feel equipped to live life. I don't need to check myself every day. No, I just don't. But I remember when I used to watch readings, I'd be like, you know what? That person tends to get my Aries, or they tend to get my Sags. Okay, I have fairly strong spikes in both those. I've yet to see one reader that ever picked up on my Libra, which is weird because it's so strong for me. And very rarely does anybody catch my Scorpio. So, yeah, absolutely check your other major placements. Cancer, by all rights, may not be your sun. You know? All right. 4 of Wands. Show me that 4 of Wands. Show me that 4 of Wands. Let's see that 4 of Wands, please. I think fire is just easier to capture, to be honest. That's looking at other readers do their thing. I think fire is just easier to encapsulate that. The Sun, the Hermit, and the Tower. We always assumed in the past there wasn't anything we couldn't heal with this relationship. I see. The Tower has come to disprove that. I see. I see. There it is. That's what I was looking for. What I was just saying about successful versus non-successful relationships. With somebody, 2 people want them to be successful, they both put work into it, not just one person hanging, doing everything. No. 2 people are willingness to be more kind to each other, more understanding, more helpful. Okay? You guys didn't show me any of that other than the willingness to communicate the reality. You and I don't seem to be on the same page. Let's do this again for another year. You showed me personally what's going on with you. I appreciate that. The 4 of Wands in the recent past, the Sun, the Hermit. We always kind of assumed in the past with this relationship, maybe a marriage, may not be. That's how 2 people define it. The Tower, it's a false construct. We always took this for granted. I see. Well, that was very honest. I appreciate that. You too, not just you, the both of you, always assumed or took for granted that because we're in a relationship or because we're in a marriage, there's nothing we can't work through. And perhaps once upon a time you felt that way. But the Tower has proven you both, particularly this year, that this was wrong. This is something we always took for granted or assumed to be true. These are beautiful components. The Tower said, we either took this idea for granted or it was a theory that never really took root. Some relationships do have their fixable limit. Not everything works itself out with a matter of patience and the willingness to be happy. Sometimes some relationships cannot be mended, but this is a Tower that's fairly recent. I think we both took it for granted that we'd always be able to come together and mend our differences and make each other happy. There's something about that Tower that says, you know, that was a beautiful belief, but for you two, you either met your limit on that or it's no longer applicable. That's recent. That's very recent. Boom. And I mean recent. That was a recent past insight, powerful, at least on your part. And now the flavor of that Tower is starting to wane. Let's see how its lingering impression lasted upon you. Or you've come to understand indeed that it takes two. Just because one person approaches a relationship or marriage with the conviction of healing it to make it happy, it still takes two. Okay? Whatever it is, at least one person here had a false belief, or you both assumed you could do that forever. Or that it would always be true. No. Two people have to want to make it work. All right, let's see that Tower, please, is on the exit. So we are indeed digesting this. Okay? The lessons are still imprinting upon us about what that means. Okay? The Wheel of Fortune, Seven of Cups, and the Seven of Pentacles. Okay. Okay. Yeah, you're saying it's been a long time since either one of us really believed that. Never mind put it into practice. That's what that Tower gave you a lasting impression of. You're showing me stagnation. 3D and emotional stagnation as well, Seven of Cups. Seven of Cups isn't just options in love, guys. It's very rarely the interpretation. It's minor, and it's for people who are open to options in love. And even then, that may not be good. Seven of Cups almost always suggests emotional fragmentation. I'm here, I'm there, and I'm not consolidated. Some of it's fantasy. Some of it's based in reality. Some of it's like, I just hope my problems will go away, or that my feelings will get stronger. And they don't. It's still stagnation. It only has so much to grow, just like the Seven of Pentacles. You're saying the Wheel of Fortune, Seven of Cups, Seven of Pentacles, that fresh Tower about the state of this relationship, where we just assumed or took for granted it could always fix itself and mend itself. It's like it's actually been a long time since I've seen that value for either of us. I used to believe that, but neither one of us has put it into practice in a long time. So do we still believe in it? Do we still believe in each other? Do I still believe in the value of this commitment and what it stands for? Or am I always going to be renewing something where I have less and less confidence in it every year? Very honest. Very honest. I appreciate your honesty today, honey. It makes my job a lot easier when people aren't hiding shit from me. Thank you. Nine of Cups. Nine of Cups. Nine of Cups. Nine of Cups. Because here's the thing. I have that really strong value in myself that I really want to take people at face value. I really do. I really try to believe people by their word. But when people are hiding shit and they're mooning and they're Seven of Swordsing, your truth don't mean much if you can't believe yourself. So you have to draw conclusions in your own right. So you haven't shown me that, not once. No Seven of Swordsing, no moons. You've been very honest about everything here up until this point, so I appreciate it a lot. Once I discover that someone's face value is indeed false, well, that's when I have little temper issues. I'm not gonna lie. Because that means they were lying to themselves first, which means I fell for their so-called face value. There weren't much value to it. Because you can be intuitive about something all day long, but if you cannot take people at their word, then you can't take them at all. You know? That's why intuition doesn't mean much if people have to lie. You know? It sucks. But I refuse to give in to the cynicism that everybody's like that all the time. No. No. I still try to take people at face value. And if they disprove themselves later, then you confront them on it. Okay? That's not your fault, that's theirs. All right. Don't know why I brought that up. I have no fucking clue. I'm just saying when something has lost face value. For one reason or another, take that for its word. Your intuition was probably right, but still, you needed to see it for yourself. All right. 9 of Cups. Show me that 9 of Cups, please. Queen of Swords, Page of Wands, the 3 of Pentacles. Man, there's a big part of you that just really wants to start over. I see you leaning towards that. I don't know what that means to you. 3 of Pentacles here. It's going to be a slow proposition. Page of Wands. It's something that in your immediate future you just started thinking about. It could be something to do with work, project work, but there's this idea that you would like to open up towards cooperation or collaboration and just kind of starting over. With what or with whom that entails, I don't know. I just see that you have your mind set on it, and you're saying 9 of Cups. It would make me very happy to do this for myself. It has nothing to do with a we or our. You're just saying, for me, personally, I need to start somewhere. And I need to see myself happy in something that I can build for myself. So what it is that you are building for yourself, you will know soon. It's coming up for you. And it's going to feel like yours. It's going to just feel like yours. Okay? I don't know what it is, if you're building something from ground up, or if you're just trying to forge new connections for yourself that you can feel good about. So be it. It's the first time I really see you kind of perk up without any sense of dread and something that you feel like you have to keep going even though you're not attached to it emotionally anymore, and it just causes you a lot of fuss. Okay? That bridge point's going to be important for you because it's really going to set you into the stage for your future context. So I don't care how it starts out. I just know it's the first time I see you kind of look like you're alive and awake and happy to participate in something. You put your mind into it, a little bit of inquiry, but it personally pleases you. It makes you feel good. It makes you feel accomplished. And it makes you feel like something here is just for you. And it's just beginning. I don't know what it is, but you will soon. Queen of Wands is in your strengths. The sense of passion, drive, focus, right? Creativity, inspiration. Okay, the muse. Let's see that Queen of Wands, please. The willingness to be open and light and to feel happy. Okay. To be open to life, not to be shut off. To be open to ideas, not to be shut off, you know. Queen of Wands is in your strengths. That's a good strength, is my point. The want and willingness to make yourself feel better. To look good, to feel good, to take care of your physical form. She means so much. The Queen of Wands does. She has so many designations. Let's see what it means to you. The Wheel of Fortune. 7 of Swords. Oh, death. I was trying how to figure... I'm sorry, I'm figuring out how to say this without sounding, you know, rude, but also it's Cancer I'm looking at. It's your reality. It's not about rudeness. It's just your reality. Wheel of Fortune's passed in more than one way. Tower, Tower, Wheel of Fortune, Death, Death. As you've come to accept what that Tower has meant to you over time, that this relationship, if you still wanted to make each other happy and heal, it would still be there. It would be an element that would still show up for you if it was true. You're starting to understand and accept the weight of it. It seems like closing this out has become a little bit more inevitable. Not the bad kind. It's the kind that you've been resisting. Again, if this relationship really wanted to be here and healthy and happy for you both, you would both want it like it used to do. And I'm convinced you both took for granted that would always be the case. The Tower said, wrong. You have to start making choices, accept this as it is, or do something about it. And I honestly didn't know, because we weren't there yet, about what your thoughts on that were going to be. Put up with it as is. This is how it is now. Don't expect any more from it. That's it. Or reject it, because those terms and conditions don't suit you. I think you're learning to reject not the new norm of your relationship, but the standing norm that's been there for a long time. You're just now seeing it. Like I said, when two people take for granted that things will always fix themselves and work themselves out and you'll both be happy, it's going to take time for you to see that that's not true. And by the time you do see it, you understand this is how it's going to be, and that's how it's always going to be. 7 and 7. Okay. Now I got another 7. Wheel of Fortune again, but this time death is showing up. I don't think you want to accept the new, but not new, norm. It's just you finally accepting it in terms of this is the actual situation, and it has been for years. That's what you're seeing. But that doesn't mean you have to accept it. Just because you've been playing along, not seeing it for what it is, doesn't mean you have to consciously accept it now. Okay? That's your choice. Wheel of Fortune's here. Time's up. It's time to kind of see this and start making decisions. Is this going to be your relationship as is moving forward? It doesn't seem like either one of you is interested in repairing it. It's not an accusation. It's not an accusation when it's the truth. When you are armed with your truth, no one can hold it against you. Then you start to see pros where you see cons. That's where you could be. This is where we got to be big boys and big girls. Start making decisions. And I see the bravery in you with that Queen of Wands now being defined as choices here. We can't keep avoiding it. It's kind of like, I know. And to your credit, you're rising into it. The Hanged Man is in your environment. I know. I know. This is where you two came from once upon a time, but this isn't a fairy tale. Reality set in. This is how it actually is. Hanged Man. We've had time and perspective to see these things in our environment. Let's see that Hanged Man, please. Let's see that Hanged Man, please. I don't really care how it went down, Cancer. I'm more interested about seeing where you are today and where you're going to be in the future. Of course, you have a backstory. I know you have a backstory. You both took it for granted that this would always heal. So stop taking that for granted, because that's not the truth anymore. If it ever was. Lean into that truth, honey. It's time. And that's if this speaks to you. Once more, take it resonates. If it does not, tarot is the proof of choice, not the absence of it. You dictate your own actions. I don't. I just reflect back what you're experiencing. That's all I can do. Okay. Let's see that Hanged Man. Show me the Hanged Man. Show me the Hanged Man. Show me the Hanged Man. I remember somebody saying once, you say some really dangerous things. And I'm like, really? Dangerous because it's the truth? Or dangerous because someone's living this? Acting like they don't know. You tell me what's more dangerous? Someone who points out the obvious? Or someone who's living it? I don't know about you. I'd rather have someone point out the obvious. 7 of Wands, the Knight of Wands. Temperance, yeah. This is exactly what I'm talking about. You've got plenty of proof. Hanged Man perspective. This 7 of Wands, Knight of Wands, Temperance. We literally do not have the energy to keep healing this. We don't want to. You particularly, making you resolve yourself towards this first, as Temperance would suggest internally. You're saying you don't want to. You find that the idea of healing yourself towards this relationship, you're pushing back on it. You don't want to try anymore. You're starting to see this for yourself. Going back to, if you wanted to heal this and if you wanted to be a participant, you would have more evidence by now, and it begins with you. Just like for them, it would begin with them, whoever they are. because it works both ways. And you're saying you having natural energy for this, enthusiasm specifically, to heal this for yourself. Like, I can't see that anymore. You had plenty of time to think about it. That's what I'm saying. That Emperor doesn't have confidence in renewing this. Natural energy, passion, or enthusiasm to heal this? You're like, I really don't feel inclined towards that. You have positive fire in you, but it doesn't point itself at that at all. Five of Cups, hopes and fears. The emotional loss, the disappointment, the regret, the time lost, all that, memories. I don't know. Five of Cups, what is that? Eight of Cups, still remains a problem here. I know. You can't imagine yourself walking away from it. Right? Let's see that Five of Cups. And like I said, darling, time can either make you, I would adjust that landslide song just a little bit. Time can make you bolder, absolutely. Or it can make you cower. But I rather like Stevie Nicks' point of view. She's like, I know what to expect from this. And time has made me bolder. I realize I don't have too much left. And if this is what I can expect from it now, I think I'd rather open up to life while I still can. I don't know. There's that Two of Pentacles again. Three of Wands. Seven of Pentacles. I know. That's what that's what I'm talking about. You're terrified that this was all for nothing. It wasn't for nothing, honey. It wasn't for nothing. The experience has made you more, not less. The time served has made you wiser for wear. And it's taught you what it is you no longer want. So please listen to that voice. I understand. You really think that if this is over, if you have to say goodbye to it, it'll all be for nothing. It will not be for nothing. It won't be. But you also are terrified of continuing to live in stagnation. Knowing it will not get better. It's there. It's reasonable fears. Mostly you fear that it'll stay the same if you continue to stay, but that if you go, it'll all be for nothing. It won't be. It'll not be for nothing. Losses like this teach you who you are. And again, you can either shy away from who you are, or you can wrap yourself in the truth and the armor that is you. Okay. Death. Let's see that, please. The Knights of Pentacles, Three of Cups, the Star. There's the admission I'm looking for. You no longer want to bring this together because it's not a vision that you can operate under anymore. It was a long time coming. I know. I synced it. Guys, for some of you we're talking, you've completed a decade or more with this. I know. There's that star which you opened up with, and like I said, to your credit, you both discussed it, but nothing seemed to have come from it. You both learned that the hard way. You're still kind of in disbelief from it. You mean I have to accept this the way it is now? That would be yes. Or you can choose not to. You have most of the argument in you about what to do. In the end, I see you no longer trying to force this thing to come together because it's not a vision you want. It's no longer a vision you desire. It's kind of like saying this might be someone else's vision, but it's not mine. So no, the time here wasn't wasted. It taught you a lot about who you are, where you came from, and where you can next see yourself, but it's not with this. There's the star again. You spent a long time trying to keep it together. You don't have to do that anymore. Okay. You don't have to do that anymore. I'm not quite sure when I knew you were going to make your decision, but if I were to guess, I'd say right about here, when you saw yourself as a singular individual working on other things that had nothing to do with whatever this is. I think this is where I saw your first admission that I want other things for myself, even if it means starting over or forging new connections. This is your first admission, I think, where I saw you making active efforts to be solo in some way, to act solo, to feel solo, and start claiming territory that had nothing to do with it. Everything else was you playing emotional and mental catch-up to the situation. You might have a very strong dose of 3D in your chart, because that's a very 3D... why the hell did I say that? I meant to say Earth, and I'm thinking coin, I'm thinking pentacle, I'm thinking 3D. That's why I said that. You might have some really strong Earth in your chart. That's a very earthian thing to do. When they start constructing their reality, then their mental selves and emotional selves tend to catch up to that. But they had to start building somewhere in order to get direction. So you might have some really strong Earth in your chart. But other than that, that's a strong admission. I've been trying to keep this together for a long time. I don't want to do it. If it's a star, if it was meant to be, I shouldn't have to work this hard to keep it together. Something like this. Or accept it at a plateau stage. That was a huge insight right there. It happened recently. I just always assumed we'd fix it and that we would always be happy. I know. That tower can be quite the bitch. But in the end, they're good for us. Bitch or not. Asshole or not. Towers are still necessary. They're needed for our own good and development. We're just not going to see it at the time. A tidy house, clarity, and organization. Some of you, number 1, by the way. Oh, I love that one. I love this. If people spent more time organizing their natural environment, their home space specifically, you'd be surprised at how much you discover about yourself. Honestly, why did I put this here? Why do I have this? Why do I keep this? Do I even like this anymore? Does this even represent me? Or am I just holding on to shit because I don't know how to let it go? And when you hold on to stuff that you don't know how to let, you can't even remember what its purpose was when you last used it. That's how you know. That's how you know it's time to start looking at yourself, because that's going to apply to everything else in your life. You know, I see how people hold on to stuff and hoard things and they know absolutely nothing about themselves. How can you? You have no room to discover an identity. You cannot fill a filled canvas. You can only create on blank canvases. So if your house is completely stuffed with stuff that you should have shed years ago, decades, because it doesn't represent you anymore, it doesn't work for you anymore, how would you know who the hell you are? You're constantly surrounded by old parts of yourself that no longer function in who you are in present day. So this is where people get locked into these patterns of just accumulating and accumulating. So I'm telling you, that metaphor for a tidy house really says something. Okay? Really discover about who you are. And do you have the opportunity to work with a blank canvas? I was about to say blank whiteboard. I have no idea why. Anyway, clarity and organization. That's what I'm talking about. Get in there and rediscover who you are. Not just your home space. I mean you too. What does your blank canvas look like? Or are you so surrounded by old parts of yourself that you feel lost in space? You need direction. Yeah, number 36. You know? Stars in the sky, limitless possibility, number 51. Some of you got lost in space about this idea of your star always meaning the same thing. It would always mean the same thing. And then you got lost trying to complete that picture and it doesn't want to complete itself anymore. Everybody's getting this. Like I said, you might have some very strong earth in your chart because there's that earthy energy. It's that sense of resourcefulness. I have to gather, I have to gather, I have to gather. Don't touch me. I don't want you touching me. Don't go anywhere near me. Okay, but I am accumulating, I am gathering. So I know you're resourceful, but it's also the horned cactus. Your defenses have been up for a while. It's like I'm accumulating all this, and to what? To what cause? To what effect? Number 29. I don't know, 29 hit funny. I have no idea why. That was 1, 36, 29, and 51. Some of you got lost in space that forever, you know, that the commitment was supposed to be forever. That's how you always envisioned it. And that's a good vision to have when you enter these commitments, guys. But there's something about it from the very beginning that you just now both realized that you both took for granted that it would be forever. Or that it would always heal, specifically that it would always heal and be happy. That was a mistake on both parts from the very beginning. It didn't, you just both assumed it would be true, so you kind of kept it in neutral or default ever since. And there was a massive growth spurt since last summer, possibly this upcoming summer. It was about that karmic lesson here, right here. And it is karmic. It is. That doesn't mean it's bad. Once you pay your dues and you realize the situation, then you can start receiving the other end of karma, because it works both ways. I said without that lesson, you don't really understand who you are, and then therefore where you have the potential to go. If your karmic lesson was to stay, I would have seen that. The Towers there is claiming that you both were a little bit folly about that assumption. But you've had massive insight. Karmic lessons grows over the summer, specifically. Some of you last summer, this upcoming summer. Abundance is near, a new beginning, as I interpret that. Ace of Pentacles. For some of you, abundance is near. In winter, a new opportunity for yourselves by winter. Cycles, completion, change. Yes, I know. And FYI, I didn't see this at all up until this point, but some of you are manifesting what you might call the divine feminine. If this is you, and you identify as the divine feminine, then you're manifesting your highest self. Others of you, you manifest a divine feminine. Something more. With feminine properties, such as intuition, a state of high levels of productivity, grace, love, generosity. Okay. Cancer, I hope this helped you. Put in the comments. Take care. Be well.